Have you ever felt that work makes you more alert, productive, and focused at certain moments, but at other times it seems to drain all your energy, patience, and even your desire to keep going? This difference, which many people feel in their body and mind, is not random. It is directly connected to two types of stress that quietly coexist in the professional environment: healthy stress and chronic stress. Understanding this difference can completely change the way you relate to your work, your performance, and most importantly, your mental and emotional health. And that is exactly what we are going to talk about today. If this kind of content helps you see work in a more conscious and balanced way, leave a like, subscribe to the Well State channel, and activate the notification bell. This helps the channel continue bringing important reflections about well-being, mental health, and quality of life. Stress, despite its negative reputation, is not necessarily a villain. In its healthy form, it is a natural response of the body to challenges, deadlines, responsibilities, and situations that require attention and action. In the professional environment, healthy stress works like temporary fuel. It activates focus, improves reasoning ability, increases motivation, and helps the body and mind adapt to momentary demands. It's that slight nervousness before an important presentation, the extra concentration to finish a project, or the added energy to solve an urgent problem. After the situation passes, the body is able to relax, recover, and return to balance. The problem begins when this state of alert stops being temporary and becomes constant. Chronic stress arises when the body no longer finds space to shut down, rest, and recover. In the professional environment, this happens when demands are continuous and excessive, combined with prolonged pressure, lack of recognition, insecurity, fear of making mistakes, work overload, and the absence of clear boundaries. Unlike healthy stress, which comes and goes, chronic stress settles in and becomes part of daily life. At first, the difference between these two types of stress can be subtle. Many people believe they are simply working hard or giving their best without realizing that their body is already operating in a state of constant exhaustion. Healthy stress is usually accompanied by a sense of purpose and control. Even when tired, the person feels capable, believes the effort makes sense, and knows there will be time to rest afterward. Chronic stress, on the other hand, comes with a persistent feeling of pressure, urgency, and helplessness. No matter how much is done, it never seems to be enough. Over time, chronic stress begins to show itself more clearly. In the body, it appears as frequent muscle pain, tension in the shoulders and neck, recurring headaches, changes in sleep, and constant fatigue. In the mind, it shows up as difficulty concentrating, memory lapses, irritability, mental fog, and a kind of exhaustion that does not improve even after rest. Emotionally, it's common to feel discouragement, anxiety, apathy, loss of pleasure in activities that once felt satisfying, and a gradual emotional distancing from work and from people. While healthy stress can be an ally of professional growth, chronic stress undermines creativity, reduces productivity, and significantly increases the risk of burnout, anxiety, and depression. An important point is that chronic stress does not arise only from excessive workloads, but also from emotionally unsafe environments. Lack of support from leadership, unclear communication, unrealistic expectations, constant fear of dismissal or punishment, and absence of clear boundaries are factors that keep the nervous system in continuous alert. Another fundamental aspect in distinguishing healthy stress from chronic stress is the relationship with rest. With healthy stress, rest is effective. A good night's sleep, a calmer weekend, or a few days off are enough to restore energy. With chronic stress, rest loses its restorative function. The person may sleep but wakes up tired, takes time off but still feels exhausted. This happens because the body can no longer fully turn off survival mode. It's important to understand that no one consciously chooses to live under chronic stress. Often, it settles in silently, fueled by beliefs such as, "I need to endure this," Everyone goes through this, or it's just a phase. The problem is that when this phase lasts too long, the costs to physical and mental health accumulate. Recognizing early signs is an essential step in breaking this cycle before it becomes more severe. In the professional environment, healthy stress is linked to clear challenges, achievable goals, and a sense of progress. Chronic stress, on the other hand, is associated with the feeling of constantly putting out fires, with no time for planning, reflection, or recovery. The routine becomes a series of urgencies, and space for self-care is pushed further and further away, as if it were a luxury rather than a necessity. Another point that deserves attention is the normalization of suffering at work. In many professional contexts, being constantly tired, overloaded, and emotionally drained is seen as a sign of commitment. This culture reinforces chronic stress and makes it harder for people to realize that something is wrong. Healthy stress respects limits. Chronic stress does not. When stress becomes chronic, the body releases stress hormones continuously, affecting the immune system, metabolism, and cardiovascular health. This explains why people under prolonged stress get sicker easier and take longer to recover. This is not about weakness, but about biology. The human body was not designed to live in a permanent state of alert. The difference between these two types of stress is also reflected in how a person relates to their work. With healthy stress, there's involvement. With chronic stress, there is emotional withdrawal. Gradually, the person begins to do only the bare minimum, not because of lack of competence, but because of emotional energy. This distancing is a defense mechanism, an unconscious attempt to protect what little balance remains. Understanding this difference doesn't mean eliminating all stress from professional life, which would be unrealistic. It means learning to recognize when stress is fulfilling its adaptive role and when it's crossing healthy limits. This recognition is the first step towards conscious changes, both individual and organizational, that foster more humane and sustainable work environments. When we talk about chronic stress in the professional environment, it is essential to understand that it does not affect only the individual, but the entire ecosystem around them. Teams under prolonged stress tend to communicate poorly, make more mistakes, lose their capacity for collaboration, and fall into cycles of constant conflict. The organizational climate becomes heavy, and work, which could be a source of fulfillment and growth, becomes associated only with survival and exhaustion. Environments that manage to keep stress within healthy limits, on the other hand, support not only productivity, but also creativity, engagement, and a sense of belonging. An important sign of healthy stress is the possibility of emotional recovery after periods of higher demand. When the professional environment allows real breaks, respects rest time, and values balance between personal life and work, stress tends to remain functional. On the other hand, when there is constant pressure to be available, messages outside working hours, excessive meetings, and the feeling that one can never truly disconnect, stress quickly becomes chronic. The body understands that there is no safe moment to relax. Many people confuse resilience with tolerating chronic stress. Being resilient does not mean adapting indefinitely to unhealthy conditions. Resilience is much more about recognizing limits, seeking support, and making adjustments before exhaustion becomes unbearable. Ignoring the signals from the body and mind in the name of performance is not strength, but a silent risk to health. On an individual level, developing emotional awareness is a powerful tool to distinguish healthy stress from chronic stress. Simple questions, asked honestly, can bring clarity. Am I able to disconnect from work when I am not working? Does my fatigue improve after rest? Do I still feel a sense of purpose or satisfaction in what I do? Or do I live in a constant state of tension, irritability, and exhaustion? These answers are not for judgment, but for guidance. Another fundamental aspect is the relationship with control. Healthy stress usually exists in contexts where there is some predictability and autonomy. Even in the face of challenges, the person feels able to influence outcomes. In chronic stress, the predominant feeling is lack of control. Goals change all the time, expectations are unclear, and important decisions seem out of reach. This prolonged sense of helplessness is one of the most exhausting factors for mental health. It is important to highlight that chronic stress is not resolved only with individual relaxation techniques, although they may help. When the source of the problem lies in work structure, excessive demands, or organizational culture, deeper changes are needed. Even so, the first step almost always begins with awareness. Giving a name to what is being experienced helps break the feeling that I am the problem. With healthy stress, the body responds to the challenge and then returns to balance. With chronic stress, this return does not happen. Over time, this can lead to a state of deep emotional exhaustion, in which even simple tasks feel impossible. Many people only realize how serious the situation is when they are already on the edge of burnout. That is why talking about this topic in a clear and accessible way is so important. Creating boundaries in the professional environment is one of the most effective ways to prevent chronic stress. Boundaries related to working hours, workload, and even emotional boundaries, such as learning to say no when necessary, are actions that protect mental health. Healthy stress respects these boundaries. Chronic stress feeds on their absence. Another relevant point is the importance of social support at work. Professional relationships based on respect, empathy, and cooperation act as a natural buffer against stress. Environments marked by excessive competition, fear, and isolation intensify chronic stress. Feeling that you are not alone makes a significant difference in how the body and mind handle daily challenges. By understanding the difference between healthy stress and chronic stress, space opens up for more conscious choices. Choices that involve prioritizing health, seeking dialogue, rethinking routines, and, when possible, promoting changes in the work environment itself. This does not mean abandoning responsibilities, but performing work in a more sustainable way that is aligned with well-being. If this content resonated with you, take a moment to leave a like, subscribe to the Well State channel, and share this video with someone who might benefit from this reflection. Talking about mental health at work is an important step towards transforming realities that today may seem unchangeable. Taking care of your emotional health is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Thank you for being here, for dedicating this time to yourself, and for being a part of a community that believes living well truly matters.